Okay, everybody, look, I know that everybody here is working very, very hard, but ultimately we're still losing ground to Red Bull and Ferrari, and we've got to work harder. So I want you all to go home, get what you need to live, say goodbye to your loved ones because there's sleeping quarters out back. We're all living here now. I mean, what's more important to you, work-life balance or winning? No wonder you work for Haas. Oh, all right, well, I guess I'll just have to invest in better facilities. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today we have the Canadian Grand Prix. It's a home continent race for us, if not a home race for us. And, well, we are just losing a little bit of touch with Ferrari after last race, and I just feel like we need to improve things. Only 4 days has passed, but you can see here that our wind tunnel upgrade is complete tomorrow. So over the race weekend, that's going to happen. We've got 3 days until the new period of development starts, where we can sort of go and invest in like time and all that. You get those allowances. But I've come to the conclusion that, I mean, we are churning out the upgrades as fast as we can. We just can't keep up with Ferrari and Red Bull. That means we're going to have to upgrade facilities, doesn't it? So what I've decided to do, we've got 29.5 million in the bank. So before, what I have been doing is waiting for the condition to get down so it needs to be refurbished to keep it at maximum capacity and then upgrading then. But I think we're going to have to get ahead of it. So we're going to the CFD simulator, is air sensitivity, which I think is a good thing for us to have, so that the improvements that we're making to the car, when we do an upgrade, the upgrade is basically better. It's a better upgrade. So we're going to do that for 12 million, and then we're going to go to the car part thing here, which is 8 million, and that is also to do with aerodynamics, and you can see they're cooling for the most part. So we're going to upgrade both of those. That's a $20 million investment into the facilities. And then we haven't quite got enough to do the suspension as well, but probably in the next few races, once we build up that balance a little bit again, we'll look to do that as well. And then design center and the factory will come shortly after that as well. So yeah, that's a big investment, but I think we have to do it if we're going to try and keep pace with these big teams. Now, there's nothing that's really happened on the car, but if we go and have a look here at the inbox, we will see that part of that crash that Sargeant had last time out, he has damaged his ERS and also the gearbox. Now, what I've done is what I meant to do, but I keep forgetting to do it. We're going to leave these in the car for free practice, then going into qualifying, and done this with both cars, we'll switch things out. Now, if you watched me when I was driving in Formula 1 21, we will know that there is occasions I forget to do this, and we end up racing with very old engine parts. I'm going to really endeavour not to do that here. Really am going to try. But yeah, there's nothing to add to drivers or staff or anything because it's just been such a quick turnaround. So let's have a look at the track here. We're expecting a wet Friday and then a dry weekend. And the circuit map we can see there for qualifying purposes. It is, where are we here? So red is sector 1, blue is sector 2, yellow is sector 3. Yeah, Montreal. It's a fast track, isn't it? A couple of one traction zone really, but it is just a fast track, and we've got the car attributes there that are required and time considerations as well. It's a short pit lane because of the sort of you cut through, so 19 seconds. Soft tyres late in the race has been working for us, so perhaps we might look even to do that with the short loss of time. We can see there the strategies are potentially a one-stop. So I wonder if you could go soft, hard, soft. If we save a set of soft tyres, that might work for us. Compound performance, we can see it there. And last year's race, of course, was our first ever podium. K-Mag was magnificent in this one, got a third, and Sargeant almost with his first points of his career as well. So we have happy memories of this track. Let's have a look at our performance targets here. Reach Q2. I like to think we can go and reach Q3. So we'll do that. Finish. Do we want to guarantee fastest lap? I don't want to do it. I mean, it's only 50 grand we lose. Maybe we should. If we're going to go soft tyres at the end. And then we need to get a car in the top 14 of the race to get $500,000. And for 2 more races in the top 14 in qualifying, and that'll be 800,000. So, yeah, you know, that should be very, very attainable for us. But anyway, let's head off to Canada. Canada, of course, being my country-in-law, given that that's where my wife is from. And yeah, I'm going to go and do some free practice, and I will see you for qualifying. It's going to be a dry qualifying, and let's see. Well, let's hope that K-Mag can recapture the magic of last season. All right, free practice has been done. Now, I am slightly concerned. If we have a look at how it all went, FP1, if we scroll down, we will find that we had Sargeant and Crawford in the car on hard tyres. It did rain during this session as well, so it's a little bit disrupted, but 14th and 17th there. FP2, K-Mag jumped back in the car, 13th and 15th in this one on soft tyres. And then FP3, it was even more concerning, 17th and 19th. Now, as I said, both cars have the old engine parts in, so we're going to go and fix all that now. And I'm hoping, we saw this in, was it Miami, where we got like a really surprise pole position, and a lot of that I think was down to the fact that we put new car parts in. So I'm hoping that is the reason we're so far off the pace. If it was a little bit, I'd say, you know, well, maybe we need to be a little bit concerned. But the fact that we are so far off what we should be able to do, I'm thinking, and we can see that the parts that were in the car, we are just trying to run them down into the ground, basically. And I mean, they were old. So I'm hoping that now we put these fresher parts in, that's going to see us kick up the field. That being the case, I don't think we're going to have a problem in Q1, but if the first runs don't look great, we might have to come back for the second run. So yeah, we were absolutely fine. K-Mag in 9th. We just did the one run. Sargeant there in 13th. Now, perhaps worryingly here, it's the usual suspects that have gone, although Ocon maybe is a bit of a surprise with Tsunoda getting through. Mercedes may have taken a step forward here, and Alfa Romeo may have as well. So potentially, we might be the 5th fastest team in this race. But anyway, let's go to Q2. Okay, so we have Sargeant coming around to start his lap. After the first run on new tyres, he is 12th. K-Mag is 4th. Now, while this is going underway this lap, I did just want to very quickly point out this. You'll notice there's a join button down in the description below. That is for channel membership, which I've done. Now, there was I did the channel news video that explained it in a little bit more detail. I just set it up just the one tier. It's the lowest tier. It's the lowest tier. I think it's 99p. I'm not sure how that converts to cents or other currencies around the world. If you would like to support, it would obviously be greatly appreciated by me. It's not expected by any means. There is, of course, Patreon as well. But this is just something a little bit different if you know, you don't want to go to an outside website in Patreon and do it. You'll get a little badge next to your name. There's little emojis and stuff as well. And I'm happy to add tiers. I'm happy to add as much as I can for you. But if you do want to do that, it would be appreciated, but to say not expected. But that is there. Now, let's focus back on times here. Sargeant a green in the yellow sector, and K-Mag behind him on the track is 2 yellow sectors. So K-Mag is safe. He doesn't have to worry. It's Sargeant. Can he bump himself up inside the top 10? He needs to find about 0.2 of a second. Can he find it? Go on, Logan. Logan Sargeant comes across the line and is done. He is 13th. So confirmation of the Logan Sargeant elimination. Now that begs the question, do we take penalties with him here if he's not having the greatest time of things? And, well, we've got upgrades potentially to come as well. I might look to take an engine penalty with Sargeant, but we'll see anyway. We'll get back to that. We have K-Mag, though, still going into Q3. All right, so we have K-Mag coming around to start his second run in Q3. Now, on a used set of tyres, I'm trying to save an extra set for the race so we can do that late stop onto the softs and still have a new set to do at the start and the end. But he's 8th right now. Now, he does have a fresh set of tyres on. Let's go and have a look at some sector times here, and let's see what K-Mag can do. He was 4th, of course, last time around. Now, he's not the last car on track either. I sort of messed it up a little bit. There is a Ferrari and I think Hamilton behind him on track. So even when he's done the lap, we're not going to know for sure. And he's only done a yellow first sector, which is disappointing on fresh tyres, to be honest. But let's see what he can do in the second sector. Can he stick in a good one? And there's cars around him that are going, excuse me, going faster as Bottas goes ahead of him. Second sector, it's another yellow. K-Mag, what's going on, mate? We don't need you starting this race in 9th or 10th. Ricardo, we haven't seen a middle sector time from him. And we're getting out developed here, aren't we? And it was always, I suppose, bound to happen. We bought upgrades early, but we've got a lot of work to do in the factory. What can K-Mag do? He is green and he is 9th. Does Ricardo beat him? No. So we'll be starting from 9th. So massively disappointing, given where we, how we did here last season. But yeah, well, race is where they give out the points, isn't it? So let's talk strategy here. What do we want to do? I kind of like the idea of this, and then potentially going onto a soft tire at the end if that is an option for us. Medium, hard, soft. I mean, it doesn't make sense to do that when you could start on a soft and then potentially, if you're going to do that, go soft, hard, soft, wouldn't you? But anyway, we'll attempt to do a one stop. I think that's the way to go, and then if we can, we'll do another stop at the end if that looks like it's going to benefit us. Now, I think we can't take another engine. We could take another ERS though, because that's been used now. So I think we might do that with Sargeant. He will get a grid penalty for it, but I think for this race, that's maybe worthwhile doing for him. And then K-Mag, I think we'd do a similar strategy. And again, if we have the option to go later on, then we can do that to get that soft tire on. And both cars will have a set of soft tires to put on at the end. That is also brand. These have actually got soft tires to burn, but they'll both have that fresh set, so we can go soft twice in the race with fresh tires. So that's all looking good for us. All right, 9th and or 13th plus I think 5. Let's get this race underway. Okay, welcome back. It is a Ferrari Red Bull front row. Mercedes is up there as well, and let's see what we can do. Sargeant starts from the back, which is not ideal, obviously, but yeah, well, we'll see what he can do early on here. K-Mag is already dropped a place down to 10th, though sometimes it can zigzag a little bit back and forth here. Can he get a move done down the outside of the McLaren of Ricciardo? He's got the inside line. He should get that done. He does. And Sargeant, unfortunately, is still sitting back there in 20th. Let's have a look what everybody else is doing. So there's a lot of medium tyre runners here. Now, I wonder if they are going to one stop like we are, in which case they're just doing it the slow way. Or is there a chance that they are going to do the medium hard soft strategy? The AI doesn't tend to veer too much off of what the three are, unless obviously something happens during the race, like a crash or rain or anything like that. But let's go to double speed here and see what we can do. Sargeant's still sitting there in 20th. You've got to get some moves done here. He's got past Mick. He should get Vettel here as well. And he just needs to get himself moving up as much as possible if he's going to get points in this race. He's going to need a little bit of luck, but he's also going to have to get some moves done, isn't he? We've got Magnussen now past Alonso and onto the back of Bottas. Another car on the medium tyre, and another car that we should therefore have an advantage over. But we'll have to wait and see. Sargeant overtakes Vettel, so he's now up to 18th. So well done, Logan. But like I say, it's a long way back to the points for him. But hopefully down the line, later on in the season, we're going to see the benefit of that when he doesn't have to take a penalty for an ERS system, which I think everybody's going to have to take at some point. So DRS is now enabled. And can we get the move done here on the outside of Bottas? That'll become the inside around here. And that should be done. I think. Job done. We will go off of deploy now as well, because we've got what's it called? DRS to help us. So Magnussen fastest lap in 7th, Sargeant 17th, and all over the back of Stroll. Let's see how this race develops from here. Alright, so we are just about to start the 12th lap, as we do just there. Now, both the Mercedes are right up there. You can see that there's sort of a top 8 group that have pulled away, which does include Magnussen in 7th right now. And then Sargeant is kind of stuck in the train of 11th and back. So Norris is sort of holding up a couple of cars there. Now, DRS trains are notoriously difficult to get out of. I'm wondering, what do we do with Sargeant here? Do we look to come in early and commit to a 2-stop? That might give him a chance of getting some points. The thing is, we don't know how much underlying pace he has. I mean, it's a similar sort of situation with Magnussen. Do we call it early and commit to a 2-stop, or is that just going to cost us points down the line if we don't have, again, that underlying speed to drag us forward? So I'm going to have to think quickly here, but I am trying to think. All right, so we do have some pit stops starting to happen. Now, we've got a yellow flag there as well. I didn't pull them in. The reason being, K-Mag would have come out behind this train, and Sargeant would have come out behind sort of the last group. So I think we would have just exchanged one train for the next, which obviously wouldn't have done us any good. So yeah, we've not done that. But anyway, we'll see how we go now. We're coming up towards our pit window. And what I don't want to do is we've entered Magnussen's window. Now, what I don't want to do is jump too early here and then find ourselves struggling on the hard tyre later on, as Magnussen looking to put a move there on Tsunoda, and it's a good one as well. And he'll get another dose of DRS to get down the front straight, sorry, and protect himself in his 12th position that he now has, as he now enters the pit window. Alright, so we are coming up to our optimum lap to stop, so we are going to stop both cars this lap. We will go on to the hard tyre and see, I mean, it can get us to the end. The question, of course, is going to be what sort of pace does it get us to the end, and do we want to come in and stop for the soft tyre? So, all will be revealed as we're about to get the notification here. Look at this, behind a Ferrari, though one has already stopped. And Sargeant, it is time for him to come in as well. There should be more than enough time between the two cars to get the stop done in and out and not have to worry about a double stack. So that should be fine. Here we go. Magnussen following in the other two. Sargeant will come in as well. Magnussen's already left. So Magnussen comes out behind Bottas, but we have fresher tyres. Sargeant is back behind Tsunoda in 17th, but there's going to be some cars there that haven't stopped as Vettel comes in, and there'll be somebody else in there as well yet to stop, I would imagine. Okay, so the way this is shaping up here, I'm looking at the gap from Magnussen to these cars behind. It's 11 seconds. Now, we're battling with Bottas. I'm thinking there's going to be an opportunity. There's going to be a window there down the line for us to come in and put on a soft tyre if we have a go, really have a go at this. So we're going to commit Magnussen to that. He only needs about another 9 seconds to be able to do it. And if he pushes on, then I'm hoping that he'll be able to get that done. Sargeant might be in a similar position to those behind him, but he's not in the points anyway. Let's do it with both cars. It'll be exciting if nothing else. Okay, so looking at the way this is playing out, we've opened up the gap to 9th place. It's out to 15 seconds. You can see both cars are absolutely going for it. We're just entering our pit window now. We're going to have a long stint, as long as we can, sort of not pushing it to the end on the soft, but certainly to give us as much time on the softs as possible. I do think we're going to come out behind this group. We're going to fall a couple of seconds short, and that's because Bottas, we're DRSing him along. But I think it should be easy enough to get past, I'm hoping anyway. And, well, then we've got Sargeant, who has just got himself in a little bit of a train, and he's not going anywhere right now either, so I'm okay, I think, with doing this. The problem we might run into is that we might just about get this 19 seconds with Magnussen, is that if other cars come in to stop, but everybody else, if we look at tyres, is on a hard tyre, so that suggests that they're all trying to get to the end. So, yeah, well, I'd rather go down swinging, and we've got our 19 seconds now as well on the Ricciardo Gasly battle, so we are going to come out basically in 8th. And yeah, well, we'll see how we go here. It's time for this pit stop, though. I didn't realise that, so let's do it this lap. You come in, we'll put on a brand spanking new of soft tyres and go like buggery to the end, and then we'll do the same thing this lap with Sargeant. And yeah, you know, we saved a set of soft tyres. Let's use them. So in comes K-Mag. Now what we'll have to do is change the tyre strategy. So he has indeed got out in front of that Ricciardo battle, which is key. And now what we need to do is have a look at the lap times and see where that what we're sort of doing here. So let's have a look. First lap out of the pits, K-Mag, a 1:16.1, so he's a second and a half faster. And we might even have a sneaky go at a fastest lap, you know, as well, while these tyres are fresh. So let's go push. Let's do a deploy lap if we can and see if we can get K-Mag to go and nick the fastest lap of this one as well. So Gasly has come in. So there are cars coming into the pits for a second stop. And well, the DRS lap isn't really working, though he has done purple. So hopefully, ERS I should say, hopefully that will still work out to a fastest lap for us. Let's see, he has nicked it, so well done K-Mag. And Sargeant is now 13th. Sargeant has nicked faster. I didn't really want you taking fastest lap, mate, because you've got to be in the points to make that count. I kind of wanted that to go to your teammate, if I'm honest. But anyway, I guess that's is what it is. And, well, Sargeant is now in a battle with Gasly for 13th, but they should be faster, and the points are just up here. This might actually work out okay. And I tell you what, Magnussen is taking chunks out of this battle for 4th as well. I'm really liking this late race stop for soft tyres, I've got to say. Alright, so Logan Sargeant has now caught the back of this battle for 10th. There are points on offer for him here if he can get these moves done. We'll put him on overtake and see if he can start to move up a little bit. Well, let's jump on board here. This could be exciting to watch. We'll go double speed, so it's not going to drag things out too long, but 7 laps to go. It's only a short lap, of course. And Magnussen has actually caught and passed Bottas as well in all that. So that is exciting. Hopefully he can avoid any DRS battle and just sort of push forward and try and get to the cars in front. But let's see what we can do. We've burnt out the battery. You worry a little bit that Sargeant has just done really well putting himself in a position to see the points and going to get DRS trained stuck here and not actually be able to do anything with it. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll stay on board here. We'll keep an eye. Magnussen is he catching the Ferrari still? He's a second a lap faster. So he still has a chance to get up and push up towards 4th in this one. But K-Mag can see... K-Mag, who are we? Right now on board with Sargeant. He can see 10th. The front of this queue is 10th. I don't know that he's got enough pace to sort of get the move done with the DRS involved as well. All right, let's push him on a little bit on the tyres here because there's no sense having tyres that are useful and finish 14th. He's really got to try and get into the points if he can because he stupidly nicked that point off of Magnussen. So he's kind of stuck there. Let's jump forward here and see. We've got Sargeant in front of K-Mag. And let's see what he can do. We've got a lap car there as well, it looks like. Is that Stroll, one of the Aston Martins. And we might have another lap car. It looks like a Williams, so that'll be Mick Schumacher in front as well. And, well, again, this strategy has worked, hasn't it? There's no doubting that. Is that who we got in front of us there? So we might have Sainz is the car directly in front, and is that Russell in front of him? And then potentially Perez in front of him. So K-Mag, with 4 laps to go, has cruised himself up onto the back of this battle. Can he now go and get the moves done to really, really make this strategy work for us? Come on, boys. Sargeant still stuck behind Tsunoda. He is looking as though it's going to be a 14th place finish for him. Can we get a move done here on the hard-tired Ferrari of Carlos Sainz? We were so close to beating him last race out. It was under a tenth of a second. Let's see if we can get it done here. And again, we're going to push on the tyres here because there's no point having tyre life left. Sargeant has just got past 1. Now, can he go and push on? Go on, Logan. Can he go and get Albon in front? Not yet. Let's go back to K-Mag around the outside of the Ferrari, and I think he's got that done. P6 for K-Mag, and we have now got Russell in front of us. Can we get a DRS move done on him? I tell you what, if we can get to the point where we are behind the front car here, we just might be able to get it. We might even be able to get it done here, you know. Oh, Perez, just aware of the fact that we were there and we were coming fast. 2 laps to go. Can K-Mag, out of really nothing, we were just looking as though we were going to cruise in 7th or 8th, weren't we, behind Bottas probably in 8th. Suddenly we've come to life on this strategy, and are we going to find ourselves one place short of the podium? Hamilton, of course, is winning this race for Mercedes, so he could find himself with a win. Now, that's a bad thing for us, of course, in terms of the constructors, because we might suddenly find ourselves, instead of looking up at Ferrari, looking down at Mercedes. Now, can we get a double overtake done here on this car? It's the last lap, and we have. Now, let's go and push. Let's go overtake.
Good job, Kev.
And can we go and get this move done for fourth? We're looking at the inside of Perez here. Can we get it made? It's a tough place to do it. And we have got it done. Now, maybe not the best place to do it because we're going to have a DRS, 2 DRS zones now. Let's drive the life out of these tyres. We'll do it on both cars. We could have actually been pushing a little bit more than we have been. And, well, let's jump off board so we can kind of see what is happening here. Can K-Mag hold on to P4? Worst case scenario, it's looking as though it's going to be a P5 finish, which is still brilliant, as Hamilton has dropped himself down to 3rd, which is a good result for us. We are out of battery life. We've got to make sure we're going to get him across the line here. Can he do it? He's got Perez all over the back of him. Come on, K-Mag. Send it into this chicane. Do not let this Red Bull pass. I think he's done enough. He's blocked. He's into the chicane first. And it is going to be 4th place finish for Kevin Magnussen, a season after he came 3rd. What a race that has been. And Sargeant, well, he's still going here. What can he do? He has got himself up to 13th. I don't think it's going to get much better than that for him, though. Not bad from the back of the grid, to be fair to him. He's got fastest lap as well, but that's going to mean nothing to us because we're not going to be able to get the points for it. And Gasly, who came in with us, of course, was able to get the moves done. And he is going to get himself a point. But as for Sargeant, he is going to come in 13th. And behind the 2 Alphas, what are they called? Alpines, but no points today for him. So another epic drive from K-Mag, up 5 places to 4th. And how much did... Oh, he only just nicked that fastest lap off him too. Look at that, Sargeant, you muppet. But anyway, Sargeant did fine, up 7 places. He was up the most. You'd kind of hope that coming from the back of the grid. But ultimately, not enough from him. Now, if we have a look at the Drivers' Championship, we have still got Magnussen there in 4th. And if we go and have a look at the... where's Sargeant? In 10th. He needs to start scoring points again, doesn't he? And if we have a look here at the Constructors, we are still in 3rd. We've had the gap behind us cut by Mercedes. Ferrari look as though they are going to kick on and leave us behind here. But we've got those factory upgrades coming. We have the ability to get more upgrades once the R&D thing resets. So we've got development points all round as well. Does Crawford get one? He does. And hopefully, yeah, those upgrades will mean that we can put ourselves back in the battle for wins. But anyway, that's it for today. If you've enjoyed that K-Mag drive, wonderful stuff. Make sure you hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you next time. The next race is somewhere, I'm going to guess, in Europe. I don't know where. Might be Austria. Who knows? Take care.